NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
CJCL Toronto. This
slams the ball to right field, way back, way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Looking for a split. The Blue Jays got a dramatic win last night off the bat of Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. IKF driving in Kevin Biggio for a 3-2 walk-off win. Today, the Jays are looking for one more to wrap up the series. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Joe Ali. We'll be joined by the voices of the Blue Jays, Ben Schulman, and former Major League pitcher Chris Leroux will be alongside him for the call of today's game. Our technical directors are Lance Kennedy, Derek Brandeo, and Tom Young. And you are listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Bowmanville and Port Hope. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. It's the series finale of this four-game set. Lefty Yusei Kikuchi will make the start for the Jays, and the Orioles calling up another prospect. Cade Povich will hit the hill for Baltimore. We'll be back with the standings update, the lineups, and first pitch after this. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet app, on sportsnet.ca, and as always, on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Basketball history is made in the NBA Finals.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Where superstars become icons. And one moment can change the course of basketball history.
Back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
We're bringing you inside the 2024 Finals on NBA Radio with nonstop coverage from our experts and every second of every game.
That is one of the more dominant first halves that we've ever seen in finals history.
NBA Radio, Channel 86, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The Doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Network.
Welcome back to Baseball Control. Show Ali with you. I'm at our downtown Toronto studios as we get set for first pitch of the series finale between the Jays and Orioles at the Rogers Center. Ben Schulman, Chris Leroux standing by. Before we get you down to Ben and Chris, let's check out the standings update courtesy of Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Let's check out the AL East. The Yankees are 44-19 after Aaron Judge and company thumped the Twins last night. They have now won 7 in a row. The Orioles are now 39-21 after yesterday's loss. The Red Sox and the Rays are both 31-31 after wins last night. The Red Sox blanking the Braves 9-0 thanks to 7 innings from Canada's own Nick Pivetta. The Rays, meanwhile, beating the Marlins 5-3. And, of course, the Blue Jays, they are 29-32. They are looking for win number 30 on the season today down at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Blair and Barker have the postgame show. They will be on both TV and radio, so that means you can send them a message via the back leg line, 416-413-3959. Name and location, please. Barker will remind you if you call. Or, of course, you can send them a text at 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line is always open. All right, let's get you over to the other side of the downtown core. They're getting set for first pitch. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue at the Rogers Center with the call of today's game.
Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays warming up right now on a sunny Rogers Center diamond. And before we get to the first inning, let's take a look at the lineups today. Chris, who is slotted into Brandon Hyde's Baltimore Orioles lineup?
Well, leading off for those Baltimore Orioles and playing third base is Jordan Westberg. DHing and batting second is Adley Rutschman. Ryan Mountcastle is at first base. He'll bat third. Batting in the cleanup spot is Gunnar Henderson. He'll be at short. In right field hitting fifth is Anthony Santander. Austin Hayes is hitting sixth and playing left field. At second base, batting seventh, will be Connor Norby. Behind the plate is James McCann. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing center field is Colton Cowser. On the mound for those Orioles, making his big league debut is lefty Cade Povich. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off and playing left field is Davis Schneider. Danny Jansen is behind the plate, batting second. At first base is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll hit third. In the cleanup spot, playing shortstop is Bo Bichette. George Springer will play right field and hit fifth. DHing is Justin Turner. He'll bat sixth. In center field, batting seventh will be Dalton Varsho. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is at second base. He'll hit eighth. And batting ninth is Ernie Clement. He'll play third base. On the mound with a 3.66 ERA is Yusei Kikuchi.
2-5 record for the left-handed starter in 12 games started this year. And Westberg is about to step into the box. We're ready to go. Blue Jays with white jerseys, white pants, blue caps today. The Orioles in road grays. Kikuchi kicks and delivers. First pitch high, 1-0. Time of the first pitch, right on time, 1:07 Eastern. Beautiful day in downtown Toronto. 23 degrees Celsius. It's mid-70s Fahrenheit. Kikuchi's 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Maybe 2-3 clouds you can see in an otherwise blue sky, and it's a school day, Chris. So there are tons of excited and loud kids here for this one.
A lot of screaming going on right now. I can hear it off in the distance.
Well, wait till the ball gets hit in the air. 1-1. Fouled off on the ground, 1-2. This first inning brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Kikuchi looks down now toward the plate. Jansen makes the signal from his right knee in the pitch. A little bit low with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball, 2-2.
Yeah, early on you could tell Kikuchi's got his good fastball today. Like you said, that last fastball clocked at 97.
Complements it with a curve, a slider, and a changeup, 2-2. Down low, went for the back foot slider there. Westberg didn't offer, full count. Recent struggles for Kikuchi, has given up 5 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. The 3-2. Swing and a looper foul behind the plate.
And those struggles have come not walking many guys. He only has 2 walks in his last 2 starts. I think he's just throwing pitches over the middle, very hittable pitches, and he's going to have to cut down on that if he wants success.
3-2 again. Fouled off into the netting. Yeah, if you go back to 2022 and you say Kikuchi struggled that day, probably he walked a lot of guys. But he hasn't walked a lot of guys in general this year. 65 strikeouts to 14 walks in 66 1/3 innings. 7-pitch battle to start his day, though. Here's the 8th one offered to the third baseman, Westberg. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a curveball down and in, 1 down.
It was a good pitch right there, good 3-2 pitch. Started right down the middle and broke under the bat of Westberg. Great way to start this ball game.
Things do not get easier from here, though. Here's the designated hitter, Adley Rutschman. Switch hitter bats from the right side. One down and the base is empty. Kikuchi's pitch. Fastball. Called strike one. That one looked a little bit outside, but the home plate umpire Alex McKay liked it. At first base, it's the crew chief Phil Cuzzi, Tony Randazzo at second, Alex Tosi at third. 0-1. Fastball in there. That one 97 on the inside edge. 0-2.
And we've seen in his last couple of starts a lot of nibbling early on, a lot of off-speed pitches. He's really filling the zone right now with the hard stuff.
Hutchman asked for time and stepped out. Now he's back in, a .304 hitter with 10 homers. Oh-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him to chase the slider in the dirt. Rutschman running down to first. Jansen on the fair side of the line throws down. And that's back-to-back strikeouts to start the outing for Yusei Kikuchi.
And I think when Kikuchi is at his best, he's getting ahead with the hard stuff, and then he's able to locate that softer stuff like he did right there, that back foot slider. He's so good at throwing a two-strike back foot slider, and he does it right there to Rutschman.
And you say softer because it's still 90.
Yeah, it's still pretty hard.
First pitch to Ryan Mountcastle, way behind 97, 0-1. Kikuchi is one of the harder throwing lefty starters in baseball. 97 consistently is high for him still. Two down and the base is empty. Mountcastle, a .281 hitter, faces the 0-1, swings and misses at 98, and it's 0-2.
There is something going on today. I don't know what he ate for breakfast, but he needs to keep doing that.
Kikuchi nodding his head as he steps on the rubber. Tucks his left hand into the glove with 2 outs. The 0-2. Fouled off to the right. 97 at the top of the zone.
And again, 3 straight fastballs to Ryan Mountcastle. In his previous starts, we would have seen a curveball mixed in there. We would have seen a slider mixed in there. I'm sure him and Pete Walker had a chat after his last start. Hey, early on, stick with the hard stuff.
0-2 again. Bounce to the left side, fielded foul by Clement, the third baseman. He'll throw over anyway. But it's still Ryan Mountcastle at the plate with no balls and 2 strikes. Kikuchi on the season averages about 95.5 miles an hour. Today it's been 96.5 miles an hour so far on the fastball. Struck out Westberg on a curve and Rutschman on a slider. Mountcastle at the plate batting from the right side. The 0-2 again. Fastball just inside, 1-2.
And you could see just how uncomfortable Mountcastle was with that fastball in, almost on the hands. You have to throw those types of pitches early on, establish the inside part of the plate, and then you can go away with the softer stuff.
1-2. Hit on the ground left side, through the hole into left field, a base hit. Ryan Mountcastle with a 2-out knock. And now Gunnar Henderson will come up for the first left-on-left matchup of Kikuchi's day.
I think this will be a tough matchup for Gunnar Henderson. As long as Yusei can throw that fastball down and away and then work off that fastball, I think this will be a tough matchup.
Henderson, adjusting his orange batting gloves, steps into the box. 2 outs, runner on first, no score. Top of the first inning. Mountcastle takes a 3-step lead, held on by Guerrero. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball at the top of the zone to make it 0-1. Henderson's the team leader in homers with 19, 42 RBIs, also leads the Orioles. Batting .264 on the year. 0-1. Low with a fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue Jays shifting to the pull side against the left-handed hitter. Bichette, the shortstop, up the middle. 1-1 pitch down and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kikuchi wipes off his face with his jersey. Now he's in the set. Mountcastle leading off first. A step and throw over. He'll lob it over. Mountcastle back easily.
I can't wait for the first fly ball to hear the shrieks from the kids.
Especially when the Blue Jays are hitting.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think they're a little happier to see a Blue Jay potential homer. 2-1 pitch. Loops softly to left field. Charging in Schneider, and it bounces by him. Mountcastle will go all the way to third. Henderson up to second as Schneider tosses it back into Bichette. It's a bloop double, and now 2 in scoring position here for the Orioles with 2 outs.
That was a really tough play for Davis Schneider out there. Wasn't sure if he wanted to dive for it, and at the last second he pulled up, and that ball hit the turf and took a left turn. And Gunnar Henderson ends up at second base with a double. You still have 2 outs, though, so you really have to focus on Santander here.
Switch hitter Santander bats from the right side. Big series for the Orioles right fielder, who's now up to a .225 average with 12 homers. Kikuchi's pitch. Foul tipped into the glove of Jansen. 98 again. It's 0-1.
I think we've seen more 98s today than we've seen all season.
Yeah. Kikuchi started this inning really strong with 2 strikeouts. Now back-to-back 2-out hits. Left on right pitch. High with a heater at 98. Santander checked his swing. Appeal to first. No swing, says Phil Cuzzy. It's 1-1. Second and third, 2 down. Top of the first inning. No score, Orioles and Blue Jays. The 1-1. Outside with a fastball, 2-1. First base is open. Austin Hayes is the on-deck hitter. A breath from Kikuchi. He'll step off the rubber before ever coming set. Back on now and ready to go. He looks down, looks toward the plate. Kicks and delivers. Swing and a fly ball hit very high and not super deep out to left. Schneider's under it, makes the catch, and that'll do it for the top of the first inning. No runs on a pair of hits, 2 left on base. Kikuchi pitches a scoreless top of the first, and the Blue Jays will hit against Cade Povich in his Major League debut next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which Looney Dogger are you? The Fork and Knifer, Splatterer, Condiment Queen, or Big Dipper? This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. You will have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the stadium. Then show the world your Looney Dog style. Because whether you're the mustard maven or ketchup king, no Blue Jays game is complete without hot dogs. So don't miss out on this deal. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders, every Tuesday home game.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
He dived, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bottom of the first inning in Toronto. No score, Orioles and Blue Jays. The first pitch of Cade Povich's Major League career is a fastball over the plate for strike one against Davis Schneider. 24-year-old lefty Povich pitching on a Major League mound for the first time, the 0-1. Slow curveball misses upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
In my conversations today about Povich, just with random Baltimore Orioles people, every single guy said that he looks like he's 10 years old.
1-1 pitch hit foul, 1-2. Well, they got a little bit of an epidemic of that over in Baltimore. I mean, you look at Jackson Holiday, and even though he's 20, he looks a lot younger than 20 as well. Povich, though, 24. The 1-2. Schneider checks his swing on a pitch high, appeal to first. He went around. So a strikeout for Povich in his first major league batter faced, and there's 1 down.
Well, he got that one out of the way quickly. That was a good fastball just above the strike zone. Davis Schneider with kind of a half swing. Didn't think he went, but it looked like he went to me.
Fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup, and sweeper for the lefty Povich, who now faces Danny Jansen. First pitch high, 1-0. In his final minor league start, Povich averaged around 93 miles an hour on the fastball. Left on right pitch. Swing and a fly ball. Center field. Coming in, Kauser moving toward left center. He'll make the catch. 2 down.
Well, just like that, he's got 2 quick outs. The best thing to do when you're facing guys making their major league debut or very early on in their big league careers, you have to get traffic on the bases. You have to put pressure on them. You have to make the game speed up. So if you want to have success against guys like this, you have to get guys on base somehow.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 2 down. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Big hack by Vladdy on a cutter left over the plate. 0-1. Povich is in the midst of an impressive season right now, at least at AAA Norfolk. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. 5-1 this year, a 3.18 earned run average in 11 starts. 75 strikeouts in 56 2/3 innings at AAA. With 2 down and the bases empty, his 1-1 to Vlad. Hit in the air, shallow right field. Santander is creeping forward and toward the line. Juts to his right at the last second and makes the catch to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Cade Povich in his major league debut. Scoreless ball game after 1. Orioles and Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rush Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NBA Finals are on Sirius XM.
Each game presents different challenges. Whenever your number is called, just be ready to do it.
It's Jason Tatum's Celtics.
Tatum blows by McDermott, muscles it up and in, scoring a foul.
Versus Luka Doncic and the Mavericks.
Luka between his legs, stepping back for the win. He got it!
It's Game 1 tonight at 8:30 Eastern on NBA Radio Channel 86. And listen to the hometown announcers on your radio and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Radio Network.
Top of the second inning in Toronto. The Blue Jays and the Orioles scoreless right now. 0-0 as Austin Hayes leads off for Baltimore. Yusei Kikuchi's first pitch is a little bit low. Check swing, appeal to first. No swing. And it's 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Appreciate you tuning in for this Thursday matinee, last of 4 between Baltimore and Toronto. 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Although this series started out on as wrong of a foot as it could have for the Blue Jays after a win yesterday, they have the opportunity today to split against Baltimore. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Got him on a changeup down and away, 1-2.
And I think coming into this series, the Blue Jays would have been happy with a split of this 4-game series. So, I mean, not ecstatic, but they would have been okay with a split going 2-2 in this series. And they're kind of in the driver's seat now, especially with a guy making his major league debut for the Baltimore Orioles.
Cade Povich, who did pitch a 1-2-3 first. Austin Hayes just asked for time. The left fielder steps back in. He's batting .209 this year, 2 homers. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on another changeup, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Kikuchi already. 1 down in the top of the 2nd.
That's going to be a big pitch today, especially with all the righties in this lineup. Mixing in that changeup, looks like a fastball out of the hands, and then just pulls the string on it, 89. When you can go almost 10 miles an hour difference in changeup and fastball, it's a pretty good pitch.
First pitch to Connor Norby, hit on the ground, 0-1. Kikuchi threw 19 changeups in his last start. That was a career high. And if you look from late April to now, it's kind of steadily gone up, and his slider usage has gone down a little bit. Left on right pitch to Norby. High and outside.
I personally think the changeup, a good changeup, is the best pitch in baseball. You can throw it in any count. It always looks like a fastball out of the hand. Sometimes Yusei's slider, it has a little bit of a hump to it, so hitters can see that it's a slider.
1-1 hit foul, 1-2.
That changeup is almost undetectable. Looks like a fastball out of the hands, and like I said, it's about 7 to 9 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
It's part of the continued evolution of Yusei Kikuchi, who was fastball slider splitter when he signed with the Blue Jays, and is now kind of fastball curveball with some changes in sliders. 1-2 pitch is hooked on the ground, third baseline, foul. Norby ran all the way down, but the rookie playing in his 3rd major league game will head back to the plate.
And it's no surprise that he threw a splitter coming over from Japan. Every single pitcher in Japan throws a split finger. I was walking off the plane when I got to Japan, and they were like, "Hey man, do you throw a splitter?" Like, no, not yet, but I'm assuming that I'll learn one.
Do you know why that is, that they throw it so much?
I think it's just a cultural thing. Like, back in the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, major league players were throwing fastball slider, and it was fastball split for Japanese players.
1-2 to Norby. Swing and a liner headed toward left. Schneider charging in. It bounces in front of him. He'll field it on 1 hop. 2nd major league hit in 8 tries for Connor Norby. He's aboard with 1 down.
Yeah, you got that home run out of the way earlier in this series, and then he gets a jam shot out of the way later on in this series. He's got to be ecstatic with that.
Norby on first, talking to Anthony Sanders, first base coach for the Orioles. Tony Mansolino coaches 3rd. Here's the number 8 hitter with 1 out and a runner on first. It's James McCann. Catcher leaning back, the pitch. Fastball in there, 0-1. Early returns on Alex McKay's zone say that there is a big outside edge to right-handed hitters. That one looked to be a little bit off the plate. Kikuchi staring at Norby. One more look, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. McCann way late on 96. 0-2. So many splits in Major League Baseball these days, but McCann is one of the few true backup catchers in the game, playing when Adley Rutschman DHs or has a rare day off. Step and throw to first, Norby back. The veteran McCann hitting .202 this year, 5 doubles and a homer in 26 games.
Would you rather be a backup catcher or a backup quarterback?
I think the backup quarterback makes a little more money, but I like baseball more. 0-2 pitch hit foul, still 0-2. I'm going to say quarterback because I think the backup catcher still ends up with some pretty bad knees by the end of it.
Because you're catching bullpens and you're doing things like you got to stay ready. I feel like as a backup quarterback, you're doing a lot of sitting on the bench.
You're like the most stylish guy on the team, I feel like. You're not hit very much, making pretty good money. .2. Hit on the ground softly to third. Picked up by Clement. Whips it over to second one. IKF to first. Double play. And that'll do it for the top of the second inning. No runs on a hit, nobody left. No score, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop-on-the-bandwagon fan. We're the in-it-for-the-long-haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Flatty with a huge stretch for the double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Appreciate you joining us today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Bo Bichette will lead off for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the second, trying to break the deadlock in this 0-0 game.
The thing that I love most about this school day is there's a ton of hand-painted signs all over the stadium.
Would you bring a sign to games when you were a kid?
Of course. Always. Well, it was back in the 90s, too, so signs were more popular back then, I think.
First pitch to Bo Bichette, high, ball 1. Cade Povich on the mound for the Orioles, making his major league debut. Was there a specific guy you were, making your signs for, like... Hey, Olerud, hit it over here.
I loved Olerud. I loved Pat Borders.
1-0 pitch. Hit in the air, right center field. Kouser being called off by the right fielder, Santander, makes the catch. 1 down.
And the cool thing about spring training, we got to go to a Blue Jays event, and it was Buck Martinez and Pat Borders kind of emceeing the event. And that was pretty cool for me because I don't think I've really ever had a conversation with Pat Borders other than I'm 40 years old in spring training going to a Blue Jays event.
Well, and you saw what I looked like sitting beside George Bell the whole night. So, first pitch to George Springer, called strike 1 at the knees.
I was sort of starstruck by Buck Martinez, too, although I see him every day.
Never gets old. 1 out, bases empty, no score. Povich into the wind, the pitch. Outside, 1-1. Springer hitting .210 on the season, 7 doubles, 5 homers, 13 RBIs. The 1-1, down and in, 2-1. Hiked up, pant legs for the Blue Jays right fielder. Deep blue socks exposed under the white uniform. 2-1 pitch hit on the ground, foul. Pretty close to being extra bases down the line, but instead it's 2-2.
I don't know how this is going to go over, but I kind of miss the City Connect uniforms.
I mean, I like the City Connect uniforms. I think that they have a priority, though, of wearing them at night specifically.
Oh, no.
Is kind of the
I know the
night mode.
The rules or whatever.
Yeah. Rules can be changed.
I guess.
It's possible. 2-2. Check swing tapper in front of the plate. McCann gets rid of the mask. Barehands it. Throws over to first. Beats Springer. 2 down.
This is your last chance to join in on the latest Jays Care 50-50 draw. The take-home jackpot is already at 593,000, almost 600,000, Ben. And it could be yours in just a few hours when the winning number is drawn at 10 p.m. Eastern. Get your tickets now by visiting bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia.
That would be great if that was mine. It won't be, but it
wouldn't look good. The optics of that, my friend.
First pitch to Justin Turner. Called strike one. Turner up with 2 outs and the bases empty. Bottom of the second. No score, Blue Jays and Orioles. Cade Povich in his first major league start deals to the 39-year-old DH. High and outside, 1-1. Turner also made his major league debut with the Baltimore Orioles back in 2009, also as a 24-year-old. Only ended up in 17 major league games as an Oriole. 1-1, cut on and missed, 1-2. Turner was actually a Cincinnati Reds draft pick, but traded over to the Orioles in late 2008. Povich, a Minnesota Twins draft pick, traded in the Jorge Lopez deal 2 years ago. 1-2 pitch hit foul. Still 1-2.
It's a pretty good trade for the Orioles.
It has been a phenomenal trade for the Orioles. They got Yenier Cano out of that deal, who's one of their highest leverage guys. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Cano came out of the bullpen last night and was probably the best I've seen him. 97, 98, just all kinds of sink.
He's one of the best non-closers in baseball. You have Povich now starting. You kind of unlocked Felix Bautista with that move. 2-2. High and outside, full count. And then there's still 2 more guys in the system right now for the Orioles. Both younger players at the rookie ball to high A level, but they have gotten a lot out of that deal. Lopez is no longer a Minnesota Twin. 3-2. Fouled back near us. It lands above us. That might have gone in the TV booth. that definitely had a shot to get up there.
I'm going to text Buck right now, see if he caught that baseball.
Let's see. I'll get on that. We'll have an update by the 3rd.
Well, if there's anybody that can catch that baseball, it's Buck Martinez.
It's not Dan Schulman. 3-2 again. Foul tipped again. Turner battling as he's often known to do. 8 pitches already. Here's the 9th. Outside, ball 4. Turner will take a walk. It's the first base runner allowed by Cade Povich in his major league career.
That was a great at-bat. Another great at-bat from Justin Turner, fouling off some tough pitches and then taking that last fastball that was pretty close just off the plate outside.
I have word, by the way, that went over the TV booth, that Justin Turner foul ball. It landed in the first row of the 500 level. Here's the pitch to Dalton Varsho. 2 outs, runner on first. And it's outside, ball 1.
I would love to know if Dan or Buck were nervous the way that ball looked like it was coming. Let's text Buck again.
Eileen, Buck was not nervous and Dan was. No score here, the 1-0. Outside again, 2 balls, no strikes. Another extra base hit yesterday for Dalton Varsho. He's got 11 doubles, 3 triples, and 10 homers. Leads the Blue Jays in extra base hits and home runs. 2-0. Swing and a bouncer hit softly to the right side. Picked up by Norby at second. He'll flip it to first and end the inning. No runs, no hits. 1 left for the Blue Jays. No score after 2 at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Bring it in, Listen, Canada, when it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Hey, this is Trevor Richards. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Bowmanville and Port Hope. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Colton Cowser leads off the top of the third, swings at the first pitch, and hits it foul, 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali's our host today. Tom Young, Lance Kennedy, Derek Brandeo, our technical directors. No score as we start the top of the third inning. Blue Jays and Orioles. 0-1. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. He went around, says Alex McKay, home plate umpire. It's 0-2. Shade covering the field now in an instant as the sun ducks behind the clouds. Still a really nice day. Some big puffy white clouds coming in overhead though. And now sun back again. The 0-2. Down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That sudden change of light and kind of shadows going across the field, does that help the pitcher, Chris?
I think so, but I mean, they might be so locked in that it might not, but I would tend to think so as a pitcher.
1-2 fastball inside, 2-2.
But like I said, if I'm on the mound, locked in on the catcher's glove or the hitter, and the hitter's locked in on me, I don't think it's really going to bother them that much.
Sunlight on the field once again. The left-on-left pitch to Cowser, cut on and missed. Strike 3. Got him on a curve. 4th strikeout already for Kikuchi through 2 1/3 innings.
Well, we've been talking about his fastball for the majority of the day, but that curveball right there was nasty. 82. Looked like a strike right down the middle, then falls off the table. Colton Cowser was way out in front of that pitch.
So 1 time through for Kikuchi, who will toss away the baseball. He's scattered 3 hits, not given up a run. He's struck out 4, and he hasn't walked anyone. Here's Jordan Westberg, the top of the order hitter, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Big hack at a hung curveball.
The thing that I love about his start so far, unlike his previous 2 starts, is he's not nibbling. He's really attacking the hitters, and he's trusting his stuff, which for the majority of the last month, he really hasn't.
Swing and a miss on a heater upstairs, 0-2. Well, for Kikuchi, he's had to pitch perfect at times. His 2.44 average of run support is 10th worst in Major League Baseball. 0-2. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 5th worst in the American League. Obviously nothing he can do about that, but the offense has not come up with many runs when he's been on the mound.
But you're still thinking about that as a pitcher. I mean, we can say that he's not, but I'm almost positive that he does think about it.
1-2 pitch, bounce back to the mound, fielded by Kikuchi. Turns, flips it to first. 2 outs. And do you think that could make him try to pitch finer, knowing that 1 run, 2 runs could be the difference?
I think it's both. I think it's the fact that he doesn't really trust that fastball, but he also knows that he has to be perfect, so that makes him nibble. And I think personally, as a pitcher with that kind of stuff, if you're nibbling, that is the worst thing you can do. Trust your stuff, attack hitters, and then just let the chips fall where they may.
His pitch to Adley Rutschman, cut on and missed. Big hack by Rutschman on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball, 0-1. Kikuchi certainly not nibbling today, like you mentioned. 35 strikes in 48 pitches. 0-1. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs and the base is empty. No score. Top of the 3rd inning. Blue Jays and Orioles. 1-1. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. He went around, says Alex McKay at home plate. So it's 1-2. Another good curveball there from Kikuchi. Rutschman asks for time and takes a practice swing. He's got great numbers against Kikuchi in his career. 8 for 21 with 2 homers.
It's almost like he has great numbers against everybody.
He does. But that would be, hitting near 400 would be even especially great for Rutschman. 1-2 pitch, bounce back to the mound. Stumbling, Kikuchi makes the play, jogs to first, and tosses to Vlad to end the inning. A strikeout and a pair of comebackers in a 1-2-3 top of the 3rd. Still no runs, middle of the 3rd inning in Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
New faces in new places.
Absolutely thrilled to be an Atlanta Falcon.
And SiriusXM NFL Radio brings you an insider's perspective from OTAs and mandatory minicamps.
He's an accomplished route runner. He's an instant starter. He is awesome.
Hear how your team is shaping up as they prepare for the 2024 season.
I don't see bust. I see Super Bowl.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Toyota Save Mart 350
from Sonoma Raceway.
Yeah!
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Yeah! Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah!
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app,
and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leads off for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Scoreless game between Toronto and Baltimore in the last of this 4-game series. Cade Povich, the lefty, into the line. First pitch curveball. Drops in at the top of the zone. Called strike 1. Blue Jays without a hit yet against Povich in his major league debut. Just 1 walk in 2 innings. 0-1. Swing and a fly ball. Hit high but to shallow right center. Santander waving his arm makes the catch. 1 out.
Povich has done a good job of elevating that fastball, whether it's late in counts, early in counts. He's really focusing on the top of that strike zone and maybe just a little bit above that strike zone. You can see the results. The Blue Jays are popping a lot of balls out.
Toronto to its 9th hitter now. Ernie Clement is up, the 3rd baseman. Hunched over in his stance, the pitch. High, ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timbermart stores are family-owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities they serve. Now more than ever, it's important to shop local. Here in the Timbermart broadcast booth, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Clement takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. 1-1 is the count. With 1 out, nobody on, and no score, bottom 3. The pitch. Downstairs, 2-1. .231 average for Clement. He's got 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers this season. Povich from the 3rd base side of the rubber, abbreviated wind and pitch. Inside, ball 3. I don't have a stat on this, but I'd imagine this is the first time Clement has looked at 4 straight pitches without swinging in any plate appearance this year.
I'd put my money on that for sure.
Ernie's had 104 at-bats. He's walked twice and struck out 8 times. The ball is being put in play when he goes up to the plate.
I wonder if he feels uncomfortable doing that, taking so many pitches.
You think he's like yelling at himself in his head to lay off? Just hold off, hold off. Here's the 3-1. It's high, ball 4. Make it the third walk of the year for Ernie Clement. He's aboard with 1 down. Here comes the top of the order.
And that was actually a good take. It was a fastball just above the strike zone. Ernie Clement loves swinging at that pitch.
You wonder if Clement's adjusting a little bit back to the pitchers who have given him a lot of stuff up out of the zone over the last month. Solid size lead at first. Povich, the lefty, looking at him. The pitch to Davis Schneider. Called strike 1. Schneider struck out swinging on a high fastball in the first. Batting .244 on the year, 7 homers, 30 driven in. Step and throw to first. Clement back in safe.
The Blue Jays probably don't have a ton of video on Povich, how he picks off, how he holds runners, so it might be a little bit difficult, especially Povich being left-handed, for Ernie to steal second, but this is a good chance right here.
Next pitch to Schneider, down and in, 1-1. Clement is 2 for 2 this year, trying to steal bases. Three steps off first for Clement. Takes a fourth now as Povich comes set and looks over. Povich kicks, fires home. Clement takes off. Swing and a bouncer foul. 1-2. Clement had slid in, but he'll have to retreat to first base.
That's a tough one right there. Ernie Clement had that bag stolen with ease. There he goes. He was standing on second base, didn't know that was a foul ball. He eventually will make it back to first base. We're waiting for him.
Yesterday, the Blue Jays 3 different times had contact made that prevented or stopped a stolen base, and John Schneider said he actually talked to guys about that after the game. 1-2. Bounce foul. There was one with Kiermaier up, one with Varsho up, one late in the game, Alejandro Kirk, where Caviviggio on an error does eventually get to second. And Schneider said he doesn't often give the take signs, but wants guys to know the situation because he felt all 3 of those times yesterday the Blue Jays had the bag stolen, if not for the contact. Big lead for Clement again, leaning to second. Step and throw over to first by Povich. Clement back in. That's the second look, so now Ernie can get maybe a little bit more aggressive over at first, although still have to be wary of Povich trying to pick off.
Yeah, it's still a little bit difficult with that left-hander on the mound, but you're watching for that right knee.
1-2. High and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If it goes behind the rubber, he has to go and pitch that baseball, but if he keeps that knee in front of the rubber, he can pick off at any time.
Clement takes off on the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Throw down to second late. Ernie Clement steals the base, but there are 2 down after Schneider goes down swinging. Third stolen base of the year for Ernie Clement, who's in scoring position with 2 outs for Danny Jansen.
He got a great jump on that one. Got second base well ahead of the throw. Big AB right here for Danny Jansen.
0 for 1 today with a fly out to center. A look at second. Povich pitches. Inside, ball 1. It's been a little bit up and down over the last few weeks for Danny Jansen. Hitting .272 on the year. 5 homers, 10 doubles, 13 RBIs. 1-0. Outside. If you go to his last 12 starts, he's hitting .250 in that time, but it's feast or famine entirely. 6 multi-hit games and 6 hitless games in 12 starts for Danny Jansen. Brief meeting on the mound. James McCann, the veteran, jogging back to the plate. Povich will take a quick walk behind the hill. They did opt to go with the veteran McCann behind the plate for this Povich start rather than Rutschman. Also, though, a day game after a night game. 2-0's the count. Here's the pitch. Check swing. Pitch was inside. Appeal to first. He went around, says Phil Cuzzy. It's 2-1.
And like that last swing right there, Danny Jansen is swinging at more pitches out of the zone in his recent or during his recent struggles than he had been earlier on in the season.
2-1 pitch. Outside ball 3.
And I think that's the thing that he has to clean up the most is just pitch selection. If he's swinging at pitches in the zone, hittable pitches, I can almost guarantee that he's going to be doing damage. He's going to be hitting balls hard, but it's just the pitch selection. Stay away from balls outside of the zone.
Povich kicks and fires. Down low, ball 4. Good eye there by Danny Jansen. He walks with 2 down and gives a big opportunity here to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
That was a good walk right there. Good last pitch take on a slider down and in, but he knows Vlad's behind him.
And before Vlad comes up, Drew French is going to come to the mound. You mentioned off the top, Chris, when a guy's making his debut, you want to get traffic. Well, other than the fact that there are 2 outs, hard to find a higher pressure situation for a guy in his debut than 2 guys on and one of the leading, if not the leading hitter on the Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate.
And the crowd is getting loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the crowd is getting loud. Obviously, there's runners on first and second. That puts pressure on Povich. And most importantly, you have your best hitter coming to the plate, who is a right-handed hitter. This is probably one of the most pressure-packed situations that Povich has ever pitched in.
Drew French, the pitching coach, back in the first base dugout. McCann walking behind the plate. And Guerrero, who was waiting just outside the box, will take a second and step in. Clement on second, Jansen on first. Still no hits for the Blue Jays. No score. Bottom of the 3rd. 2 down. First pitch. Outside and high. Ball 1.
And you can see right there that first pitch. In his head, he's thinking, don't throw this pitch down the middle because Vlad will hit it 450 feet. I can almost guarantee he's thinking that. And what happens? Arm side high, a little spinner.
The 1-0. Swing and a fly ball deep right field. Santander racing back at the wall. See you later. 3-run home run. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Blue Jays jump on top. Took a cutter on the outside edge and just flipped it over the short wall in right field. The 7th homer of the season for Vlad and his 2nd of the series.
Well, Povich knew that he couldn't fall behind 2-0, and Vlad knew that he couldn't fall behind 2-0, so you know he's coming with something in the heart of the plate. And that was such a nice approach from Vlad, taking that pitch on the outside part of the plate, just drilling it to right field.
First pitch to Bichette's way high, 1-0. 3-0 Blue Jays. They've matched their best run total of any game this series already here in the 3rd inning. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. And maybe the power's starting to return here for Guerrero, who homered in the opener of this series and now in the finale. Just taking off the jacket right now as the 2-0 pitch is hit foul by Bichette. 2-1.
Well, the home runs will come. They might not come 40 times this season. They might only come 25 times, but the home runs will come. If he's hitting 300 with 25 homers, I'm sorry, but I would take that.
2-1. Bounced softly by Bichette, third base side of the mound. Fielded by Povich. The rookie turns and fires a strike over to first to end the inning. Blue Jays score 3 on 1 hit. It's Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s 3-run homer that makes it 3-0 Blue Jays after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 2024 U.S. Open is coming, and you can hear all the action on U.S. Open Radio.
Oh, and it goes in the hole. Scotty Scheffler, eagle.
All next week, we have coverage from Pinehurst with analysis, player interviews, and play-by-play coverage from Pinehurst number 2.
Wyndham Clark is a major champion. He's won the U.S. Open.
Hear the 2024 U.S. Open on U.S. Open Radio, Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Basketball history is made in the NBA Finals.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Where superstars become icons. And one moment can change the course of basketball history.
Back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
We're bringing you inside the 2024 Finals on NBA Radio with nonstop coverage from our experts and every second of every game.
That is one of the more dominant first halves that we've ever seen in Finals history.
NBA Radio, Channel 86, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Get the latest news from OTAs to minicamps, all the way through training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88 in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The fourth inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Yusei Kikuchi pitches to Ryan Mountcastle. First pitch called outside. Looked pretty good. 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays up 3-0 on the Orioles after Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s 3-run homer in the bottom of the third. The 1-0. Mountcastle hits it in the air, deep right. Springer ranging back at the track, reaches for the wall and makes the catch. 1 out.
Well, that was about as close as it gets to being a home run. George Springer caught that ball with his numbers touching the fence. Yusei Kikuchi holding his breath, standing on that mound. Big first out right there against the Blue Jay killer.
Not so far today, although definitely so far in this series. Mountcastle walking back down the dugout steps. Gunnar Henderson is up. Left on left pitch. Called strike one. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate. Your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Kikuchi's 0-1 pitch way up and in. Henderson twists out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here in Toronto, it's 3-0 Blue Jays, top of the fourth. 1 out and the base is empty. Get to the out-of-town scores in a sec. First, Henderson stepping back in. 1 for 1 with a bloop double. The pitch. Just below the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I bet you were salivating watching that Skeens-Dodgers game last night.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, did you see what he did to Shohei Ohtani? 3 pitches. All 100 struck him out.
I think Ohtani was just baiting him.
2-1 pitch outside. 3-1.
He knew what he was doing.
Well, it's like the old story, at least, is that Tom Glavine used to intentionally throw bad pitches in spring training. So you would expect that pitch and then he wouldn't throw it to you in the season. 3-1. Down and away, ball 4. Henderson flips the bat away. He'll go down to first with a 1-out walk.
That's funny. I was the exact opposite.
You would throw your best pitches in
spring training, and then during the season, I would throw my good.
Yeah. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, one other game in action today. Cleveland, or right now in action. Cleveland is hosting the Kansas City Royals. It's 2-1 for the Guardians, bottom of the third inning. Here's Anthony Santander to the plate for the Orioles with 1 out to pitch. Swing and a fly ball, loop to center. Varsho started back. He'll come in and toward right center, make the catch. 2 down. Henderson retreats to first. In that game between the Guardians and the Royals on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Vinny Pasquantino started the scoring with an RBI double. Josh Naylor, Canadian, would tie it up with an RBI groundout before Jose Ramirez's 17th home run of the season. That has it at 2-1 Cleveland on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 3-0 Blue Jays, top of the fourth. 2 down, runner on first. The pitch to Austin Hayes. He takes inside 1-0.
Bo and Josh are coming to town soon.
Oh, yeah. That'll be the 14th to the 16th, actually the next home game after today. And then the Blue Jays go to Cleveland less than a week later.
Do you know if that's the first time they've been in Toronto together?
Good question. 1-0, fouled off 1-1. I believe so. I don't think Bo Naylor played here last year, but let me check.
Well, they're not from Toronto. They grew up in Mississauga, but close enough, 20 minutes away.
Yeah. If it's close enough that you tell an American you're from Toronto, I think it counts as a home.
Well, I've met a lot of people abroad, and they say, "Oh, I'm from Toronto," and I say, "Oh, I'm from Mississauga. Where are you from?" And they say, "Oh, Brantford."
That's
not
a little
the same.
Further.
Not the same.
That's a little further. Bo Naylor did play here last year, pardon me, so there is a chance. Although I think Josh was hurt at that time. Step and throw over to first by Kikuchi. In fact, Bo homered here last year.
Needless to say, it'll be a treat for their family and friends, and I'm sure they'll have a lot of high school friends here. Pretty cool experience.
Yeah, I don't believe they've both played here at the same time. 1-1 pitch to Hayes, called strike. A fastball over the heart of the plate. 1-2.
And the best part about that, it's a weekend series.
Oh, yeah. School day fans getting loud once again. 2 outs, runner on first. 3-0 Blue Jays, top of the fourth. The left on right pitch, cut on and missed. Strike 3. Got Hayes on a changeup for Kikuchi's 5th strikeout of the day. No runs, no hits, 1 left. 3-0 Blue Jays, middle of the fourth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Show your pride in the heart of Toronto and create core memories. Join us at the ballpark on Friday, June 14th for Pride Night, presented by TD, and get your Blue Jays Rainbow Rope corduroy hat. At the core of who we are. Celebrate pride and enjoy great Pride Night activities around the ballpark. On Friday, June 14th, arrive early to get your Blue Jays Rainbow Rope corduroy hat giveaway. Pride Night, presented by TD. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary. Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
This is Jose Berrios, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the fourth inning in Toronto, the Blue Jays leading the Orioles 3-0. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Cade Povich, the rookie, making his major league debut on the hill, and his first pitch to George Springer. Swing and a miss. Reluctant hack there by Springer. 0-1.
They just showed a bunch of school kids on the Jumbotron screaming and yelling. They're holding signs, probably about 30 to 40 Blue Jays jersey. One kid had a Montreal Canadiens jersey, and I really enjoyed that.
0-1 is bounced back to the mound, fielded by Povich. Throw over to first. 1 down. I'm not going to comment.
You were dying inside, weren't you?
I'm not going to comment.
You wanted to call security on that guy.
Look, the golf course where all the Canadians are is not that far from here. Now the Leafs have joined them recently. But They're already members there by this point. They've probably played it too many times. One down, nobody on, 3-0 Blue Jays. Here's Toronto Maple Leafs fan Justin Turner. First pitch, inside, ball one. Turner in spring training did have a Leafs jersey. He's a big hockey fan. Originates from his friendship with Tyler Toffoli in Los Angeles when Toffoli was a King and Turner was a Dodger. 1-0. Fouled back 1-1. He did say in his opening press conference after signing with the Blue Jays that he's kind of jumped from the different teams that Toffoli plays for. But then again, I saw that Maple Leafs jersey in his locker in spring. 1-1. Broken bat looper, headed to left center. This could be trouble. Hayes coming in, slides and makes the play. Very nice out there from Austin Hayes to take a hit away from Turner. 2 down.
Yeah, I thought that was dropping off the bat. Austin Hayes did a good job running in, sprinting almost. Then makes a little foot first dive. Shoulder hits the turf. Nice play from Austin Hayes.
Hayes, a former center fielder, playing a lot in left since Cedric Mullins and now Colton Cowser, or last year Aaron Hicks were really involved in center. First pitch to Dalton Varsho, bounced down and away, 1-0. 2 outs and the base is empty. 3-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the fourth. Varsho 0 for 1, hit a soft grounder to second base in the second inning. Left on left pitch. Called strike.
I'll tell you what, outside of that Vlad home run, Povich has looked pretty polished. He doesn't look like a guy that's making his major league debut right now.
Is 1-1. Varsho shows bunt, pulls it back. 2-1. What have you liked from him so far?
I think his composure, like I said, outside of maybe 7 or 8 pitches last inning, his composure has been incredible.
2-1 pitches, called a strike, 2-2.
He doesn't have overpowering stuff. His fastball sits 91 to 94. His off-speed pitches are pretty average, but his just composure, his command of all those pitches has been pretty good.
2-2. Swinging a fly ball, hits softly out to right field. Going back, Norby Santander coming in, a slide, and he can't make the play. Varsho rounding first, gets into second. He'll take a bloop double with 2 outs. His 12th double of the year.
Dalton Varsho did such a good job of running out of the box there. He was running like he knew that ball was going to drop. A lot of guys would kind of just saunter around first and end up with a single, but Dalton Varsho, always giving 100%, ends up on second base with a double.
Good, everyone's okay, by the way, out in right field. Norby, the second baseman, went out. Santander slid in like a soccer player looking for a tackle there and flipped Norby over him. But they're both back up and doing well. First pitch to IKF is inside, 1-0.
Well, I think that's part of the reason why that ball dropped. Norby was running back. Anthony Santander didn't want to run into Norby. It was one of those scary situations. Thankfully, nobody got hurt there.
So a runner on second, 2 down, and yesterday's hero, IKF at the plate. Varsho with an early break stops, and the pitch to IKF is blooped to shallow right. Going back to first baseman Mountcastle. It's down for a base hit. Varsho around third. He'll score an RBI single. Back-to-back bloops for the Blue Jays. 4-0 Toronto leads.
Well, if you're Cade Povich, you're probably extremely frustrated with both of those base hits. 2 good pitches, both blooped almost in the exact same spot in no man's land out there between or in front of right field and out behind first and second. That's a tough earned run if you're Cade Povich.
It looked like sun was a bit of a factor for Mountcastle going out there, but I'm not sure he could have got it anyway. First pitch down and into Clement, 1-0. 4-0 Blue Jays.
Needless to say, that's a huge run, especially with that offense out there in Baltimore's dugout.
1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Yeah, I mean, you can't really rest on any lead with the Orioles on the other side. They came into today tied for first in Major League Baseball with 92 home runs this season, tied with the Yankees, and they've played fewer games. 1-1 pitch. Clement gets it off the fist, hits it foul to the right, 1-2. So 4-0 Blue Jays, IKF on first. 2 down, bottom of the 4th inning. Clement's walk in the 3rd inning set up the 3-run rally by the Blue Jays. It was a Clement walk, then a Jansen walk before Guerrero homered. IKF just blooping in Varsho to extend the lead. Left on right pitch. Swing and a fly ball hit to left, right at Hayes. Barely moves a muscle, makes the catch, and ends the inning. A run on 2 hits for the Blue Jays. They extend their lead with looping base hits by Varsho and Kiner Falefa. It's now 4-0 after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Feel that energy this Pride Month on Andy Cohen's Kiki Lounge.
Empowering sets from the Kiki Lounge house DJs every night. Long-lost vintage Fire Island DJ mixes. It's the Pine Walk Collection. And top it all off with my monthly mixtape. Find it all in the Kiki Lounge, my exclusive SiriusXM music channel. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy playoff basketball to reacting to the NFL draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
We're talking college basketball on ACC Today.
Great run for NC State men's basketball. The story of this team is one I don't think anybody will forget.
They were able to accomplish a lot. They captured the hearts and the minds of the nation. DJ Burns became an absolute star nationally.
I love it.
ACC Today, weekdays from 8 to 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 5th inning in Toronto, the Blue Jays leading the Orioles 4-0. Yusei Kikuchi's first pitch to Connor Norby, called strike 1 on a curve. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Norby, McCann, and Kauser to hit this inning for the Orioles. 7-8-9. Norby came up with his second major league hit back in the 2nd. 0-2. Bounced up the middle, over the hill, into the second baseman, IKF. He throws to first and retires his fellow second baseman. 1 down.
That was a nice play from IKF out there. I thought that ball would hit the bag for a second. He had that to deal with.
Might have tipped off Kikuchi as well, who was spinning behind him to try and stop it. But Kiner Falefa makes the play, and there's now 1 out in the top of the 5th. Here's McCann, who grounded into a double play his first time up. The pitch. Inside, 1-0. The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. Kikuchi twists and deals. Fastball in there, 1-1.
The Jays Care 50-50 draw is now at $605,000.
Man.
$605,015.
The 15. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
You can have the 15. I'll take the 605.
Well, I think what you do is you win the 605. You take the 15 and you buy like whatever your favorite fast food meal is. You pig out for one day on the 15. 1-2. Hit on the ground at third. Fielded by Clement in between his legs. He pops up, throws to first. 2 down.
Well, mine's McDonald's, but you can't really get much at McDonald's anymore for $15.
That's right. All right, so maybe you take the first 115.
Well, it's at $575 now, so
that'll get you a lot at any fast food spot.
Yeah.
2 down. Nobody aboard. Here's Colton Kauser, left-handed hitting center fielder. First pitch. Down and away, ball 1. Jackpot will be announced at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can still get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. 1-0. Called strike. And that's 5-0-5-0, the numbers, not the words, 50-50. Banners in center field, blowing out to the left. 1-1. Hit on the ground to second. Picked up by IKF. Drops it, picks it back up, throws to first, and ends the inning. 1-2-3-4 Kikuchi, 3 groundouts. And at the middle of the 5th, it's 4-0 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 156th running of the Belmont Stakes is on Sirius XM. One final chance at Triple Crown Glory in 2024.
Arcangelo is fiercely determined, trying to pull it off. He's in front. Forte's coming right. Oh, he's got a chance. He couldn't do it.
For the first time ever, legendary Saratoga Racecourse hosts the Belmont. Don't miss live coverage beginning Saturday afternoon at 4 Eastern on Fox Sports Radio, Sirius XM Channel 83, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into Sirius XM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. It's the bottom of the 5th inning at Rogers Center, and the Blue Jays lead the Orioles 4-0. Top of the order, Kate Povich pitches to Davis Schneider, drops a curveball in for strike 1. Blue Jays looking to come away with a series split against the Orioles after losing the first 2. 0-1 pitch is bounced off the glove of the pitcher Povich, barehanded by Henderson at short, throw on to first in time. What a play. 1 down.
That was a great play from Gunnar Henderson. Cade Povich actually tipped that ball, so Henderson had that to deal with, but he comes up with that bare hand cleanly and then throws out a speedy Schneider going to first base. It's a good player over there.
Henderson playing way in the hole now as Danny Jansen comes up. The pitch. Fastball for strike 1. Let's take a quick check on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Division-leading New York Yankees host the team the Blue Jays are chasing for the 3rd wildcard spot, the Minnesota Twins. 0-1 pitch yanked foul into the seats down the left field line. 0-2. Pretty interesting pitching matchup going on in the Bronx at 7:05 Eastern. It'll be Pablo Lopez against Marcus Stroman on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 0-2 to Jansen. Downstairs, he lays off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Another interesting pitching matchup is Walker Buehler and Bailey Falter. We saw Bailey Falter earlier on in this homestand, and he was pretty good.
1-2. Check swing, pitches down and away, and Jansen laid off. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, that is a good one. What else do we got? White Sox, Red Sox, Tanner Houck against Jake Woodford. Blue Jays faced Woodford in his season debut. 2-2. Swing and a hot shot foul. A fly ball that bounces off the front facing of the 5th deck and caroms back onto the field.
Well, I think Danny Jansen got all of that baseball. Squared that one up right on the screws, just a little bit out in front. Foul by about, 40 feet?
Something like that. You straighten that out. That's way gone.
That's Jose Canseco territory.
Oh, yeah. 2-2 again. High ball 3. After Jansen hits, we'll take a look at the at the Bergmanis-Prira injury report. 3-2, fouled off. They'll get a new baseball, so now we can tell you that the injury report's brought to you by Bergmanis-Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis-Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis-Prira will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. The 3-2. Swing and a high, shallow fly ball to left. Henderson, the shortstop, out in left field, called off by Hayes. He'll squeeze it. 2 down. If you didn't see yesterday, Yariel Rodriguez made his 4th rehab appearance. It was a 3-inning relief appearance against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, the Phillies affiliate. 3 hitless innings for Rodriguez. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. He threw 43 pitches for the Blue Jays AAA affiliate, the Bisons. 2 down, nobody on. The pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hit well to right field. Santander going back. It's over his head and off the wall. Vladdy around first will have to stop there. A long single, his 2nd hit of the day.
We've seen that from Vlad so often recently. Hits a ball on the screws and he hits it almost too hard off the wall and ends up with a single. That's also something that's kind of eating into those power numbers. He's hitting more singles because of hits like that. He probably would have 3 or 4, maybe 5 more doubles if he wasn't hitting baseballs so hard off the wall like that and being held to singles.
Guerrero now leading off first. He has stolen 2 bases this year. First pitch to Bo Bichette is rocketed to right center. Santander runs over, makes the catch, and ends the inning. Again, our injury report brought to you by Bergmanis-Prira Personal Injury Lawyers. No runs on a hit for the Blue Jays, who lead 4-0 after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care. The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 6th inning in Toronto, the Blue Jays leading the Orioles 4-0. Yusei Kikuchi on the mound. His pitch to Jordan Westberg inside, 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Lance Kennedy, Derek Brandeo, Tom Young, our technical director. Sho Ali is our host today and producer. 1-0. Swinging a ground ball hit to third. Speared by Clement. Throws over to first. 1 out.
And we didn't get to it last inning, but I wanted to ask you your thoughts on Yariel Rodriguez, where he fits into the Blue Jays' plans. We obviously have heard starting, relieving. But I want to hear it from you, my friend, because you know everything about these Blue Jays.
Well, I will say that I am getting it from John Schneider specifically, because he knows even more than I do. A lot more, by the way. But The plan is to stretch him out. First pitch to Adley Rutschman, high and outside, 1-0. We were talking about the rehab outing yesterday for Rodriguez. He threw 43 pitches. They had him throw 15 more in a bullpen after, though, to try and continue to expand that pitch count. 1-0. Fastball called outside, 2-0. Kikuchi slaps his left thigh. He thought that was a good one. And for Rodriguez, they've mentioned 70, 80 pitches perhaps, and it sounds like, whether he'd be starting or there's an opener and then he comes in, taking on that bulk role in the spot of Manoah. 2-0 pitch is hit high and deep to left field. Schneider going back at the wall. That ball's gone. Adley Rutschman with his 11th home run of the year gets the Orioles on the board. It's now 4-1 Blue Jays.
And that's why that run in the fourth inning was so big. Yes, a 3-0 lead is a decent lead, but that extra run is so big with the power potential of this Orioles lineup.
That was a moonshot off the bat of Rutschman. Kikuchi looks to regroup now. That was his first hit allowed since the second inning. We're here in the top of the sixth. There's one out. And the left on right pitch to Ryan Mountcastle. Inside, 1-0.
Adley Rutschman doing the water bong down there. I'm not even sure if he's old enough to drink.
He is.
Yeah,
Barely.
Barely.
He went to college. Henderson's 22. I think he's the youngest.
That's right.
1-0. Called strike 1-1.
So kind of to put a pin in Yariel Rodriguez, he is on the cusp of starting for this team.
I think so. I mean, the next Manoah spot, if you want to call it that, is the 1-1 bounce, 2-1, is Sunday. Would he be with the team Sunday? They said that's 50-50 right now. But long term, it feels like, you go back to maybe that Rodriguez-Francis piggyback that had worked pretty well for the Blue Jays in late April. 2-1. Swinging a foul off, 2-2.
I think he needs another start in AAA if he's going to be a part of the starting rotation. 43 pitches, 60 total. That seems like rushing him back if you throw him into the rotation now. Maybe one more start in AAA and then see how he feels. And then bring him up.
Kikuchi's 2-2. Swinging a foul tip into Jansen, the catcher. But John Schneider was very happy when speaking about Yariel's rehab yesterday. Regardless of timetable, he just said he threw really well, the video looked good, the reports were good, he felt good after it. And of course with the Alek Manoah injury, I mean, he becomes way more important, even though he was already important to the team. 2-2. Downstairs with a heater, full count. 4-1 Blue Jays, top of the sixth. A moment ago, Adley Rutschman homered. With one out and the bases empty now, the 3-2 pitch coming to Ryan Mountcastle. Kikuchi sets, kicks, and Mountcastle asks for time, so Kikuchi puts the foot down, never threw. Mentioned earlier in the game that Rutschman has good numbers against Kikuchi. Mountcastle, who singled in the first, is 9 for 19 against Kikuchi career with 4 homers. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a line shot, right field. Springer hesitates, sprints to his left, makes the catch. 2 outs.
Well, he almost went 10 for 20 there. Ryan Mountcastle with a line drive to right field. George Springer just catches that at his chest, but you can't get to a 3-2 count with a guy like that who is seeing the ball that well. It's a tough place to be if you're Yusei Kikuchi.
Gets away with it, though. Now with 2 down, Gunnar Henderson up, who hasn't been retired yet today. The pitch. Inside, ball 1. 4-1 Blue Jays, top of the sixth. Base is empty. Take a quick peek at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, where the Guardians have increased their lead on the Royals 3-1 now in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 pitch foul tipped, 1-1. Jose Ramirez has done it again. He singles to knock in another run for the Guardians. And Chris Ramirez, the third baseman for Cleveland, has 60 RBIs in 61 games this year. This is the 61st game, so kind of 60 and change. 1-1. Swing and a miss by Henderson. A ball and 2 strikes.
It is incredible to me how productive he has been through 2 months of the season. He's on pace for what, 180 RBIs?
Well, like 160, about 162.
That's still a lot of RBIs.
That's an incredible amount. 1-2 pitch, waved at and missed. Strike 3. A spin off the mound by Kikuchi. He struck out his 6th batter in 6 innings of work. Does give up the home run to Rutschman, a solo shot. It's 4-1 Blue Jays, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Summer sounds like poolside party starters, red hot hip hop mixes, and backyard barbecue classics. With exclusive specials and mixes, plus over 200 extra channels, your sun-soaked soundtrack awaits. Just tap into the SiriusXM app and search Summer Sounds.
It's PGA Championship Week on SiriusXM, and you can hear all the action on PGA Championship Radio.
Brooks Koepka is the winner of the 105th PGA Championship.
We have coverage from Valhalla Golf Club with analysis, player interviews, and play-by-play coverage.
Scotty Scheffler just makes an eagle at the 8th.
Hear the 2024 PGA Championship on PGA Championship Radio, Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Hopefully you get a couple guys going at the same time, and we're just looking for consistency. It's been tough, it's been frustrating at times, but also feel good about the progress that certain guys have made and that the progress that we've made in terms of, our prep and our work.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
4-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th inning in Toronto. Appreciate you tuning in today on a very sunny day downtown. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Cade Povich back out for his 6th inning of work. Starts George Springer off with a strike. 0-1. Orioles just got on the board a moment ago. A solo homer by Adley Rutschman. Now the left-on-right pitch to Springer. Down and in.
Nate Pearson is warming up in that Blue Jays bullpen out there. Yusei Kikuchi's at 89 pitches. I would imagine he would go out for another one, but I've seen weirder things.
1-1. Swing and a miss. Springer down to a knee. Has to settle himself with his right hand on the ground. 1-2. Yeah, I haven't seen Kikuchi in the dugout yet. He's out of our view. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a bouncer, foul. If you see him with a sweatshirt on, his day is probably done, but he's underneath the overhang of the dugout right now.
I didn't see John Schneider go up to him and give him a handshake. No hugs, no nothing. So that tells me that his day isn't done, but who knows?
1-2 down and in, 2-2. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We're here in the Timbermark broadcast booth. Springer 0 for 2 today. Povich winds and offers. Swinging a fly ball down the right field line, slicing foul into the seats. Things have been going better as of late for George Springer. On base in 8 of the last 9 games. A .500 on base percentage over that time, with some power as well. 2 homers and a double. 2-2. Swing and a cue shot set up the first baseline. Fielded by the pitcher Povich, underhand flip to first. 1 down. Come celebrate Dad at the ballpark on Sunday, June 16th for our Junior Jays Father's Day. And it's that time of year again for Junior Jays outdoor programs. Come to the ballpark before gates open, and kids 14 and under can enjoy inflatables, artists, special performances, and more. Head to bluejays.com/JRJs and get your tickets now. Justin Turner to the plate, 1 out, and the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Turner with a walk today. Also lined out to left, Austin Hayes made a half-diving, half-sliding catch. 1-0 curveball drops in, 1-1. Another guy who's starting to turn it around a little bit more recently. Had a 3-hit game for the Blue Jays yesterday, 1-1. Low, 2-1. For Turner, it was his first multi-hit game since April 29th when he hit 2 homers at home against Kansas City. 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
And the thing that I've noticed about Justin Turner is he's just having better at-bats. Early on in the season, he was having great at-bats, and then there was that period where he was just getting eaten up by fastballs up and fastballs in, and now he's starting to take those pitches.
Fouls off a high fastball to make it 3-2.
Not that one there, but he's taking those tough pitches instead of swinging at them and just hitting weak contact, but that's a good sign. He might not be, the numbers might still be a little bit low. He's hitting .223 now, but better at bats, hitting the ball a little bit harder. That's a good sign.
Payoff pitch. Fouled off. And he was a guy who had a remarkable April. He drove this offense in April, and then he had one of the tougher Mays, probably the toughest of anyone on this roster. And truthfully, like most things, he's probably somewhere in the middle as a hitter. He wasn't going to hit 400 the whole year. 3-2 pitch, line to left field, down softly for a base hit.
And that's what the types of pitches that he does the most damage on. Those hung breaking balls right there from Povich, just a curveball that was right over the middle. And he's so good at getting the barrel to those slow pitches, those slower pitches. But the most important thing is he's fouling off those tough pitches, and eventually Povich or any pitcher that's on the mound is going to make a mistake, and that was a mistake right there.
Povich into the stretch. Turner leading off first. Dalton Varsho at the plate. The left-on-left pitch is in there. Strike 1. Blue Jays up 4-1 on the Orioles. 1 out, bottom of the 6th with a runner on first. Pretty packed house today on this school day. It's been loud all day. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Dalton Varsho scored for the Blue Jays' 4th run of the game. A pretty fortunate one for Toronto, quite honestly. A bloop double by Varsho, followed by a bloop single by IKF in the 4th. 1-1 pitch. High, 2 balls and 1 strike.
But again, the reason why the Blue Jays got that run, it wasn't the 2 bloop singles, the double and then the single. It was because Varsho ran hard out of the box. A lot of big league hitters, I hate to say this, they would have just ended up at first base.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. For Varsho, it was his 12th double of the year. 10 homers, an on-base plus slugging at .760. 2-2 pitch outside, full count. Mark Budzinski going over to talk to Justin Turner at first base. Turner walks off the bag just a step or 2. 3-2 count, 1 out. A step and throw over to first. Turner will get back standing.
Povich is about to throw his 100th pitch of the ball game. I would imagine this might be his last batter, especially because Varsho's left-handed.
(3-2) Outside, ball 4. A walk to Varsho. Turner up to second. Povich looking toward the dugout. Here comes Brandon Hyde. Orioles starter in his debut has given up 4 pitches into the 6th inning, but is taken out with runners on first and second. Blue Jays up 4-1. Let's go back to baseball control. Here's today's host, Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, don't forget we do have Jays Talk today. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will be on both TV and radio, which means you can send them a message via the back leg line, 416-413-3959. Stick a 1 on there if you're not in the GTA. Name and location, please. If you do call, you'll hear Barker's voice imploring you to leave your name and location. Or you can send them a text at 590-590, name and location as well. All right, let's check the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. In the NBA, Game 1 of the NBA Finals finally arriving tonight. The Dallas Mavericks, they're in Boston to take on the Celtics at TD Garden. Tip-off will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Some other NBA news coming down the pipeline this morning. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Lakers are targeting UConn head coach and two-time national champion Dan Hurley to be their new bench boss. They are preparing a massive long-term offer, and Woj from ESPN saying LA has been relentless, quote-unquote, in their pursuit of Hurley, so we'll see if that lands. We'll check out the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. We are still waiting on Game 1 of the Stanley Cup final. That will come on Saturday night, June 8th. The Edmonton Oilers will be in Sunrise, Florida to take on the Panthers. Puck drop will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Watch it on Sportsnet. And speaking of hockey, if you haven't heard this, the Utah hockey franchise, the name is still up in the air. These are the 6th finalists. The Blizzard, the Mammoth, the Outlaws, the Venom, the Yeti, and the Utah Hockey Club, or Utah HC. So fans can vote on that online. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. I like the Yetis. Let's get you back to the action at the Rogers Center. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Blue Jays up 4-1, bottom of the 6th inning. A runner on first, and Cade Povich, runners on first and second, and Cade Povich, the Baltimore starter, out of the game. His major league debut is over. And now on the mound for the Orioles is the right-handed reliever, Dylan Tate. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to bat for the Blue Jays here. Turner on second, Varsho on first, 1 down, and the righty Tate looks back at second, kicks and delivers. Called strike 1. What'd you think of the major league debut of Povich?
I liked it. I thought the stuff was pretty average. He did a good job of focusing his fastballs on the top part of that strike zone. It's so hard to hit those.
Next pitch is strike 2.
And like I said earlier, he looked very composed for a guy that has never stepped foot on a major league mound outside of spring training. I think that he looked very composed, and that's half the battle, really.
Tate kicks and fires. IKF chops it to third. Backing up, fielded by Westberg in fair territory. Long throw to first, and he beats IKF. Both runners will advance. Turner now at third, Varsho at second, but a nice play by Jordan Westberg to make it 2 down.
What'd you think?
I mean, you know a heck of a lot more than me, but I thought it was pretty good. I just think the walks got him in a bit of trouble. He walked 2 in the 3rd inning, and that was when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. launched the 3-run homer. That's really the difference in this game. And even in that at-bat, he got behind.
And this is a tough place to play. Like, it's pretty much sold out. It's a loud crowd.
Tate's pitch to Ernie Clement. Up and in, ball 1.
And like I said, as soon as a young guy gets a little traffic on the base paths, he starts to overthink things, he starts to speed up, and then you get Vlad coming to the plate, and he's thinking, oh my gosh, if I give up a home run here, it'll be 3 quick runs. And then, of course, he leaves a fat one right over the middle, and Vlad doesn't miss it.
1-0 pitch, called strike, right down the middle with a fastball by Tate, 1-1.
And I was talking about that before the broadcast. Really, that's all you have to do for when a young pitcher is on the mound. Just get some traffic, speed up the game, and he'll probably make mistakes.
1-1 pitch, check swing roller foul, 1-2. So Povich's debut is done. Dylan Tate is in, making his 17th appearance of the year, a 2-1 record, 2.79 ERA. Out of the bullpen. Doesn't strike out a ton of batters, but doesn't walk that many either. 11 strikeouts, 6 walks in 19 2/3 innings. Former 4th overall pick. Rangers took him in 2015. 1-2. Swinging a liner left side, down for a base hit. Turner in to score. Varsho sprinting behind him. They both get into the plate safely. It's a 2-run single for Ernie Clement and a 6-1 Blue Jays lead.
That's a big couple of runs right there for the Blue Jays, but it's also 2 big runs for Povich. That's an ugly box score now. He went from giving up 4 earned runs in 5 1/3. Now he's given up 6 earned runs in 5 1/3. A little bit of a disappointment for him, I'm sure, but like I said, he looked pretty good today.
You took that thought right out of my my head right there.
I'm always thinking about the box score, the earned runs. That's why.
That's the way a pitcher thinks. First pitch to Davis Schneider, fouled off 0-1. So Povich's line now finalized at 5 1/3, 4 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Both of his strikeouts came against Davis Schneider. Schneider 0 for 3. Tate kicks and delivers. Inside, Schneider backs out of the way, 1-1.
And like it usually happens with relievers, they come in, give up the starters a couple runs, and then strike out the next guy.
Are you speaking from experience?
That is my goal, to not let those runs in, but more often than not, it seems to happen.
It has been a bit of an up and down year for Tate. They called on him last on the 2nd of June in Tampa Bay. They didn't have a lot of their top relievers available, and he gave up 2 runs in an inning in a third and gave up a lead to the Tampa Bay Rays. Next pitch to Schneider, roped foul, 1-2. 2 outs, 6-1 Blue Jays. Clement on first, Schneider at the plate, and Dylan Tate on the mound. Tate, I mentioned the 4th overall pick in 2015 by the Rangers. He's been involved in 2 huge trades. Was traded from Texas as a minor leaguer over to the Yankees with Eric Swanson for Carlos Beltran. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. We'll get to his other trade if he comes back out next inning. 2 hits on 2 runs for the Blue Jays. They extend their lead to 6-1 after 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring excitement to your landscape with proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better, so they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for proven winners, Color Choice Shrubs, in the distinctive white container at your local garden center, or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I was brought up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Top of the 7th inning in Toronto, the Blue Jays with a 6-1 lead thanks to a 2-run single by Ernie Clement. Yusei Kikuchi's day is done. Nate Pearson takes over for Toronto in the top of the 7th. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, Derek Brandeo, Lance Kennedy, our technical directors. Pearson begins his outing with the switch hitter now batting left, Anthony Santander. The righty Pearson kicks and fires. First pitch heater at the top of the zone. Strike 1. Santander 0 for 2 today, a fly out to left and a fly out to right. Swing and a miss on an 0-1 fastball at 98, 0-2.
And there's that big fastball again. We've seen Nate Pearson kind of fluctuate with that velo of the fastball, sometimes 95, sometimes 101. I can't figure it out.
0-2. Outside with the curve, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, he's leaned a lot more on his breaking pitches this year, the curve and the slider, and batters have hit below 200 against the curve and the slider while putting up impressive numbers against the fastball. 1-2. Swing and a liner to center. Varsho going back now, cuts in and makes the catch. 1 down.
Yeah, Santander, I think, hit it a little softer than Varsho anticipated. Varsho taking a couple hard steps back and then having to sprint in to make that catch, but getting the leadoff guy is a big deal for Nate Pearson.
For Pearson, it's his 25th appearance of the year, a 4.63 ERA and 23 1/3 innings coming into this game. Here's the pitch to Austin Hayes, way up and in. Hayes falls down as he was ducking out of the way, and he's still down on a knee, 1-0. That was 99 right near the chin.
Not fun if you're Hayes.
No. A guy who spent a month on the injured list already this year. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Comes back with the slider on the outside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I knew that was coming. You mentioned earlier, but he's really leaned on those off-speed pitches, the curveball, the slider, and they've also been really effective.
1-1. Check swing on a slider down and away. And he went around, says home plate umpire Alex McKay. So it's 1-2.
Hayes ripped off his helmet, started playing with the dirt, took a few steps out of the batter's box. He really did not like that call, or he was disgusted with himself. Either or.
I mean, it can't be a fun at-bat. You get one right near the head at 99, and then 2 really good sliders down and away. 1-2 pitch. Slider down and away. This time, Hayes lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shade once again covering the field, but still a bright blue sky above Rogers Center. Pearson kicks and delivers. Fastball froze him. Strike 3. 97 right down the middle. 2 down.
Well, that was beautiful. You know, the scouting report on Nate Pearson now says he throws a lot of sliders. And Austin Hayes was just fooled there with a fastball right down the middle. That was a 4-seam fastball that did not move at 97. You know he was thinking something softer.
2 down, and the rookie Connor Norby's up. 1 for 2. First pitch from Pearson's 99 in the zone. 0-1. Should mention the final line of Yusei Kikuchi, who was really good today. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts for the Blue Jays lefty. A 1 pitch down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. What'd you think of Kikuchi?
Oh, I loved it. And like I said early in the broadcast, it looked like he wasn't nibbling. He was attacking hitters with that fastball. We saw that fastball a few times at 98 miles an hour.
1-1 is downstairs, 2-1.
And we talk about how big Nate Pearson's fastball is, 97, 98, 99. Yusei Kikuchi isn't far behind that. Yusei Kikuchi, I think, forgets sometimes how useful and how powerful his fastball is, and he nibbles.
Next pitch from Pearson is hit off the end of the bat, a roller up the middle, fielded by IKF, throws over to first from the shortstop side, and the second baseman makes the play to end the inning. A 1-2-3 seventh for Nate Pearson. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. The Blue Jays are up 6-1 on the Orioles. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Sprinting back, Varsho curling at the track. He leaps, and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Rogers Center, 6-1. The Blue Jays lead the Baltimore Orioles. Appreciate you sticking around with us in this series finale. The Blue Jays trying to get out of this series with a split after dropping the first 2. A walk-off win yesterday. By far their best performance of this series so far, though, coming today. Although still some time to finish it out. It's the bottom of the 7th, and the lefty Keegan Aiken will take over for the Orioles here in the 7th inning. Danny Jansen at the plate to lead off. Vladdy on deck. Bo Bichette to hit this inning as well. Aiken, the lefty, fires in a strike to start his appearance. 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. We're in the Timber Mart broadcast booth. And the next pitch is downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. One. Bounces to the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That Jays Care 50-50 draw is now at 631,000, almost 632,000.
BlueJays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Next pitch to Jansen is hit a kilometer high left side. In foul territory, the third baseman Westberg calls for it and catches it with 2 hands. 1 out. Jackpot to be announced today at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard quickly. The only other game in action is Cleveland, Kansas City. After Cleveland made it 3-1 thanks to 2 different RBI hits by Jose Ramirez, Kansas City has struck back and made it a little bit closer. Hunter Renfroe with an RBI double. It's now 3-2, top of the 6th. Aiken's first pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., cut on and missed. Strike 1. That out-of-town score update brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 6-1 Blue Jays, the 0-1. Vladdy takes it downstairs. A 2-hit day for Guerrero. 3-run shot in the 3rd, and then a single off the wall and right in the 5th. 1-1. Called strike.
Guerrero nodding his head after that pitch. That was a fastball about mid to lower thigh high. You know he wants that one back.
Guerrero asked for time, steps out, now back in the box. 1-2 pitch. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Those numbers are really starting to creep up. 7 homers now, 30 RBIs.
The 295 average does a lot. 2-2 pitch downstairs, 3-2. The on-base plus slugging for Guerrero at .812. Next pitch down and in, ball 4. He'll take a walk. That's his team leading 35th walk of the season. He's aboard with 1 out.
And the thing that I also like about the package that he has right now is he's not afraid to take a walk, which is great. Some power hitters, some guys that feel the need to drive that offense, they almost feel like they can't walk, and Vlad is almost the exact opposite.
Runs an on-base percentage in the 390s right now. First pitch to Bo Bichette, fouled off. 0-1. And when I think back to that 2021 season for Vlad, which has a lot of factors that we don't have to dig into, he had a American League best .401 on-base percentage. It felt like he forced pitchers to give him pitches that then he could hit over the wall. Throw over to first, Vladdy gets back in standing. Not just him showing off a ton of power, but using his eye to really force guys into bad positions. 2 stolen bases for Vlad this year. He's 3 steps off first. Held on by Mountcastle. The pitch to Bichette inside. 1-1.
Keegan Aiken actually threw over on the previous pitch, and Vlad didn't even have the oven mitt on it. He was putting the oven mitt on as Keegan Aiken was throwing over. Probably not stealing if the oven mitt's not on.
No. 6-1 Blue Jays. The pitch to Bichette. Checks his swing on a pitch high. Appeal down to first. No swing, says Phil Cuzzy. 2-1. For Aiken, it's his 27th appearance of the year. 4.28 ERA. 30 punch-outs in 27 and a third innings. He has walked 10 in that time as well. The lefty staring at Guerrero at first. Kicks and fires to the plate. Bichette hits it foul into the seats right side. 2-2. Potentially a streak on the line right now for Bo Bichette. Batting for the 4th time today, he's 0 for 3. He's got a 14-game hit streak against the Orioles, the longest active streak against Baltimore in Major League Baseball. 2-2. Swing and a liner left side, caught by the third baseman Westberg. Throw to first, Guerrero slides back in safe, and Bo nearly extended that streak, but hit it to the wrong spot.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Bo. He's hit a few balls hard recently that have been right at guys, and he drilled that baseball right on the screws to Jordan Westberg at third base. Vlad actually almost gets thrown out at first base, takes a couple hard steps towards second, and then realizes that that ball is going to be caught.
John Schneider did talk a lot about the swings of Bo Bichette before today's game. Here's the pitch to George Springer. Broken bat bouncer to Westberg at third. He gets up, throws the short way to second, and ends the inning. A walk for the Blue Jays. No runs, 1 left on. They're up 6-1. Go into the 8th inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fantasy Sports Radio is drafting the best baseball players in history in an all-time fantasy baseball draft.
There's a new home run champion, and it's Henry Aaron.
From Babe Ruth to Shohei Ohtani to Ricky Henderson and more. Hear how the best baseball experts draft the best players of all time.
I'm taking prime Mookie Betts over prime Lou Gehrig because of positional availability.
Check out the board on X at SiriusXM Fantasy. And hear the draft picks by searching Fantasy Drafts on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Basketball history is made in the NBA Finals.
Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Where superstars become icons. And one moment can change the course of basketball history.
Back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
We're bringing you inside the 2024 Finals on NBA Radio with nonstop coverage from our experts and every second of every game.
That is one of the more dominant first halves that we've ever seen in finals history.
NBA Radio, Channel 86, and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 8th inning in downtown Toronto, the Blue Jays and the Orioles playing in Game 4 of this series. Appreciate you hanging around with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, Derek Brandeo, Lance Kennedy, our technical directors. Zach Pop is on for the Blue Jays, 17th appearance of the year, a 3.5 ERA. The righty from Brampton kicks and fires to James McCann. It's a fastball inside, 1-0.
Ben, I just realized that I'm not going to be here for that Bo Bichette bobblehead on June 19th. So,
You're
I
asking me
I have
now?
a request. In case I forget, my collection is starting to get pretty big.
Next pitch is hit on the line right side and just caught by Guerrero, ranging back. That was a humpback liner and a tough over-the-shoulder play. 1 out.
That was incredible. The best part about him is not the catch, it's the fun that he's having while he's catching that baseball. Such a fun player to watch.
2022 Gold Glover takes a hit away from McCann. Would have been a blue pit, but still. And with 1 down, here's Colton Cowser. We'll get back to your request in a second. First, the right on left pitch. Called strike 1. All right, hit me.
All right, so I need you to get a bobblehead for me. It's a very simple request.
Now, I might need to take a bobblehead away from someone else to make that happen. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Let me see who's there in your place. That might make it all right. Easier or more difficult. I don't know how Caleb Joseph feels about bobbleheads. 0-2. Down and in. Cowser steps out of the way. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Caleb strikes me as the guy that has about 700 bobbleheads in his office
Every
somewhere
pitcher he's caught or something
in Knoxville,
like that.
Tennessee.
No, I think I can make that happen.
All right, thank you. I'll send you a text to remind you.
Please do. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him to fish at the sinker. And there are 2 down.
That was nasty. 97 with all kinds of run on it. Didn't have the depth that it sometimes has had, but that ball started on the outer third and ended up way off the plate. Colton Cowser just waving at it, shaking his head, walking back to that dugout.
So 2 down and the bases empty. 6-1 Blue Jays, top of the 8th. Top of the order, Jordan Westberg takes down and away. Ball 1. By the way, that Bo Bichette bobblehead will be Wednesday, June 19th, like Chris said. First 15,000 fans will get the bobblehead presented by EnterCare. 1-0. Downstairs, 2-0. You can visit BlueJays.com/bobbleheads to purchase your tickets for that one.
Is it normally 15,000 or is it 20,000?
I believe it's 15. 2-0. Downstairs, 3-0. Adley Rutschman on deck, his home run, the lone run for the Orioles today. Just 4 hits for Baltimore. Pop kicks and delivers. Called strike at the knees to make it 3-1.
If you were building a bullpen, who would you rather have, Zach Pop or Cano? Yennier Cano.
I don't think I'm going to answer that question without getting the salaries that the GMs get. 3-1. Down and away, ball 4.
They both have a very unique fastball for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I want both, to be honest.
Well, you can't have both. You don't have enough money.
They're both on team control.
That's
Don't
true.
cost that much money.
That's true.
Westberg on first, 2 down. Adley Rutschman coming to the plate. The switch hitter will bat left for the first time today. He's 1 for 3 with a solo home run. First pitch from Pop. Fastball on the inner half. Strike 1. You mentioned earlier you were missing those Blue Jays City Connect uniforms. Well, J-Shop has come alive with the new vibrant colors of the City Connect uniform. Be among the first fans to represent your team and city proudly by wearing the City Connect jersey, hat, and more. Visit the Jays Shop at Rogers Center to get your City Connect merchandise today. Next pitch misses, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Rutschman. 2 outs and a runner on first. 6-1 Blue Jays, top of the 8th. Pop kicks and delivers. Swing and a looper set foul. Second deck left side. Bounces off some hands and drops into the aisle. 1-2.
I said this last night, but my favorite thing about the uniform is the hat, because the hat is so simple. I'm a very simple guy when it comes to my wardrobe. Says the guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it's a very wearable hat. You can wear it anywhere.
And it does to me resemble a lot the flag of the city of Toronto, which I think is kind of cool. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a drive deep right field. Springer going back. He'll watch it sail way over the Blue Jays bullpen. A mammoth shot from Adley Rutschman, a 2-run homer to make this a ball game. Once again, it's 6-3.
Yeah, needless to say, that was a big mistake from Zach Pop. A 1-2 pitch. You don't want to throw that fastball right down the middle in that count. And he throws a fastball that didn't really move all that much, about thigh high, middle of the plate. And Adley Rutschman again shows us why he was the #1 overall pick.
It's his second 2-homer game against the Blue Jays this year. It's Blue Jays 6, Rutschman 3. I mean, they don't have a hit since the second, unless Adley Rutschman's up. Now 12 home runs on the year. And here's Ryan Mountcastle, 6'3" Blue Jays. Top of the 8th, 2 down, bases empty. Infield plays him straight up, and the pitch. Called strike. A fastball at 98 to make it 0-1. Rutschman hit that ball 414 feet. 0-1. Fouled off, 0-2. In right field, you have the elevated bullpens now. You have the Canada Dry bleachers. And then behind that, there's the porch that has the big score bet on it. It was hit all the way into the porch, so over the bullpen, over the bleachers, and pretty much onto the concourse in right field.
Well, it was a pretty swing. Rutschman hit that baseball. He knew he got it. He flipped the bat, took a couple slow steps, and then started his trot. Overall, pretty cool.
No balls and 2 strikes on Mountcastle. 2 down. And the pitch. Fastball downstairs, 1-2. Blue Jays have Jimmy Garcia up and warming now. Potentially, if this inning continues, or maybe they're just starting to get him loose for a 9th inning now, that has turned into potentially a safe situation. The 1-2. Swing and a liner, caught at short by Bichette near his ankles. He got up to throw just in case, but he made the play. That ends the inning. 2 runs on 1 hit. The 2-run homer by Adley Rutschman, his second homer of the game, has made it close once again. 6-3 Blue Jays, middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
So Blue Jays fans, you want to know about salsa? Salsa is more than dancing. It's more than music. Salsa is the passion and spirit that is at the core of the beautiful cultures of Latin America. The Blue Jays are bringing salsa to the ballpark on June 27th. Be one of the first 15,000 fans in attendance and receive a Blue Jays chip and dip bowl. Celebrate salsa and create core memories with your Blue Jays. It's salsa night. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Right, Vladdy?
Everybody salsa. We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Young Savage, why you trapping so hard?
Hey, this is Kevin Biggio. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 6-3 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. Justin Turner just took down and in from Keegan Aiken. Next pitch is outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to start the home half of the 8th. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. This game close once again after Rutschman's second home run of the game. And now the 2-0 is right down the middle for strike 1. Turner's 1 for 2, a single, a walk, and a run scored. Big swing and a miss at a 2-1 fastball. And now the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Turner asks for time, adjusts his batting gloves. He leads off this inning with Dalton Varsho on deck. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa due up third. The 2-2. Swinging a liner headed toward left. Down for a base hit. After over a month without a multi-hit game, back-to-back multi-hit games for Justin Turner, who's aboard to start the 8th.
Yeah, and here comes Cavan Biggio pinch running. They know how much that 4th run means to them. Like I said a couple times today, that Orioles offense is so potent. No lead is really big enough.
And the Blue Jays have Jimmy Garcia loosening up, but he pitched yesterday. If they can extend the lead, maybe Genesis Cabrera, who's standing up there but not throwing yet, would be into the ball game. Biggio on first now, and the pitch to Dalton Varsho. Called strike 1.
Yeah, the Blue Jays still have 6 more games to go before their next off day.
And they're in the middle of a 26 and 27. They've used Garcia a fair amount, just the high leverage arms in the bullpen a fair amount in general. 0-1. Swing and a foul ball over the screen into the seats below our feet. 0-2.
Somebody made an incredible catch and we couldn't see it.
A lot of the school kids still here. Packed house in Toronto. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Varsho goes down on a fastball. There's 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
Tough AB right there for Dalton Varsho. Left on left. Keegan Aiken's got a decent fastball. Low to mid-90s. He just blows it by him there.
For Varsho, 4 at-bats or 4 plate appearances today, all against lefties, and he did come up with a double and a walk. 2 runs scored. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's up 1 for 3. The pitch. Fouled off. 0-1. You wonder if they think about starting the runner in a situation like this. IKF is one of their better contact hitters. 1 out here. Biggio on first. Tougher with the lefty Aiken staring at Biggio. He kicks and fires home. IKF bunts and pops it up. Caught at third by Westberg, who didn't have to charge that much. That ball was looped deep down the third baseline. There are 2 down.
That's about as easy as it gets for Jordan Westberg and Keegan Aiken. Just a easy little low line drive to third base off the bat of IKF, trying to get on base with a bunt base hit. I don't know if he sacrificed. No, he wasn't sacrificing.
No, it was too late. Maybe one of those 50-50 plays where you're okay with it, but he pulled that out pretty late. First pitch to Ernie Clement. Big cut and a miss. 0-1. Good day for Ernie Clement. A single, 2 driven in the 6th. Also walked and came around to score in the 3rd. Stole a base in the 3rd as well. He's 1 for 2 on the day. 0-1. Swing and a looper down the right field line into the seats. 0-2. Jimmy Garcia remains as the only relief pitcher for the Blue Jays up in left field. You figure that unless something changes pretty dramatically here in this inning, Garcia is going to come out and pitch the 9th for the Blue Jays. 0-2. Popped up right side. Mountcastle ranging back into foul territory. Side warning track, makes the catch, banging into the netting to end the inning. A leadoff single for the Blue Jays is stranded. They lead 6-3 going to the top of the 9th. Jimmy Garcia is out of the bullpen next, looking for a save. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
NBA Final Game 1 is here. Sirius XM NBA Radio with a comprehensive analysis of the Boston Celtics hosting the Dallas Mavericks, along with the Los Angeles Lakers targeting UConn's Dan Hurley to possibly be their new head coach. NBA Radio, Sirius XM Channel 86, and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports. Wherever you are, your team plays here.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the Sirius XM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like five-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the Sirius XM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on Sirius XM Channel 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Radio Network.
Top of the ninth inning in Toronto, the Blue Jays looking to come away with a series split against the Orioles. They enter the ninth, leading 6-3. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Jimmy Garcia is on the mound for Toronto in a save situation. The righty in his 5th save opportunity of the year, 3 for 4 previously. His first pitch to Gunnar Henderson is a heater at the knees, strike 1. Overall, the 24th appearance of the year for Garcia, a 1.5 ERA. He picked up his 2nd win of the year yesterday for the Blue Jays, 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Gunnar Henderson, Anthony Santander, Austin Hayes, 2 up this inning. The 1-1. Had him out in front on the changeup. It's 1-2. Orioles do have some power on the bench. Ryan O'Hearn, a left-handed hitter. Maybe he factors in this inning. 1-2. Check swing, high fastball, appeal to 30, did not go around. Says Alex Tosi, it's 2-2. The righty Garcia comes set at the belt. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 98 on the outside edge, 1 down.
Well, Gunnar Henderson had no chance at that fastball. It almost seemed like he was looking something off speed, maybe a changeup, but he was way behind that 4-seam fastball from Jimmy Garcia. He was kind of waving at it.
Here's Anthony Santander with 1 out and the bases empty. Top of the 9th, the pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Foul territory, left side. Jansen getting rid of the mask, near the dugout, makes the catch right before the backstop. Was kneeling down, almost hit his chin on the backstop, but somehow made the play. 2 outs.
That was a really tough play for Danny Jansen. That little short wall behind home plate. It almost looked like he hit it with his knees while he was catching that baseball.
I think he did kind of rest his knees and even his stomach on it. His head almost hitting off the top of it. But now 2 down. Here's Austin Hayes, the last chance for Baltimore. And he takes strike 1 at the knees. Blue Jays got offense early today. A 3-run homer from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the 3rd. And then an RBI single from Kiner Falefa in the 4th. Jumped down to a 4-0 lead. 0-1 hits Hayes on the ribs. And he is upset, screaming as he walks down to first. Taking off his helmet and grimacing toward the sky. He's in obvious discomfort. And you can understand why. That was the sinker of Jimmy Garcia at 96, and it got him right on the ribs.
Oh, got him square. You can understand the frustration there. Screaming in pain, taking his helmet off, taking a long time to get to first base. Still not quite there. Walking past first base.
He's with Brian Ebel, the head athletic trainer, and Brandon Hyde, the manager. You got to figure if he feels bad at all, you take him out of this game with 2 outs in the 9th. But
that is a tough place to get hit. How hard was that pitch? 97?
It was 96.
96.
Which, all things considered, for the Garcia fastball, it could have been worse. But that's still, I mean, it doesn't get a lot worse than 96 on the ribs.
I think we're splitting hairs now.
Yeah. Gets a pat on the back from Vlad. Hayes is going to stay in the game. That's great to see. Runner on first, though, with 2 outs. 6-3 Blue Jays, top of the 9th. Ryan O'Hearn pinch hitting for Connor Norby. The first pitch is high and outside. 1-0. O'Hearn coming off the bench, a .276 hitter. 7 homers, 18 RBIs this year. 1-0. Called strike. Most of the schools have stuck around. Fans are on their feet. The Blue Jays, after losing the first 2 of this series, won yesterday, and are an out away from splitting the 4-game set against Baltimore. The 1-1. High and outside, 2-1.
Well, if you were in middle school or elementary school, wouldn't you want to see Jimmy Garcia pitch?
Oh, my goodness. I would stay for sure. I was wondering as we got to 3 o'clock, like what the protocol is exactly, but a lot of the kids are still here. 2-1. Fouled back just over our heads. 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, the Blue Jays with early offense. The Vlad 3-run homer. IKF with a single. Adley Rutschman, though, would hit 2 homers today. Put up 3 for Baltimore. There was an Ernie Clement 2-run single for Insurance. 2-2. Hit well right field. Springer turns, looks, it's gone. It's a 1-run game. Pinch hit homer, Ryan O'Hearn. It's 6-5 for the Blue Jays.
Well, that was a 4-seam fastball in the inner third, something Ryan O'Hearn does a lot of damage on. He just pulls the hands through, hits that thing 405 feet over that Baltimore Orioles bullpen in right field, and it's a different ball game now.
Pete Walker is going to go out and talk to Jimmy Garcia, who dominated to start this inning. Struck out Gunnar Henderson swinging. Got Anthony Santander on 1 pitch. He throws a first pitch strike to Austin Hayes and then nails Hayes in the ribs. 5 pitches later, Ryan O'Hearn dunks it into the seats in right field. And 1 swing can tie up this ball game.
Well, I said this earlier in the broadcast, but no lead is really safe, especially because this offense is so potent. They can go deep in any count, against any pitch, at any time, and we're seeing that today.
It's going to be another pinch hitter. James McCann out of the game with 2 down and the bases empty. 6-5 Toronto lead. Top of the 9th, the first pitch to Kyle Stowers is hit foul, 0-1. Stowers, a left-handed hitter, playing in his 14th game of the year, a .333 hitter this year. 4 doubles, no homers, 6 RBIs. Garcia kicks and fires. Bounce to the plate, 1-1.
In 148 career at-bats, Stowers only has 3 homers. I didn't just jinx it, did I?
Yeah, I was going to say, those are things you don't typically say. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Fans on their feet again. Orioles down to their last strike. 6-5 the Blue Jays lead. Bases empty. Top of the 9th inning. Stowers in the box. Garcia set. Brings his left foot close. Twists. Deals. Bounce to the plate. Ball 2. The tying run at the plate for the Orioles, 4 runs in the 8th and 9th combined. With 2 outs, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, ball game. The Orioles make it close, but Jimmy Garcia comes through, and the Blue Jays win 6-5 to salvage this series, splitting it with the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, it was stressful getting to the finish line, but the Blue Jays ultimately come out with a much-needed victory, splitting this series with the tough Baltimore Orioles. Zach Pop giving up a 2-run homer, Jimmy Garcia giving up a 2-run homer, but at this stage in the season, the only thing that matters is a W.
The Blue Jays get that, their 30th win of the season as they reach game 62, 100 to play. We will take a quick step aside, come back, wrap it up, and send you over to a winning edition, a series splitting edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Stay with us. Blue Jays win 6-5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
Bring excitement to your landscape with Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. These flowering shrubs and evergreens have been trialed and tested by experts to make sure they look better and bloom better. So they're just as easy to care for as what's in your landscape now, but a whole lot more colorful and interesting. Look for Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs in the distinctive white container at your local garden center or learn more at provenwinnerscolorchoice.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hey, this is Danny Jansen. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. The Blue Jays winners today. They take the game 6-5 over the Baltimore Orioles and split the 4-game set against the Orioles. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. This was an entertaining game. It went back and forth. At one point, the Blue Jays comfortable, not very comfortable by the end of it, but they pick up the victory. Chris, let's start with the starting pitchers. A big storyline today. You had on one side Yusei Kikuchi, who had struggled in his prior 2 starts. He came out, he threw 6 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball, only walked 1 batter, and struck out 6. His lone run given up was a solo homer to Adley Rutschman. What did you think of Kikuchi overall?
Well, even early on, we noticed that fastball was a tick above what he normally throws it at. We saw a few 98s in that first inning, something that we seemed to get excited about early on in this ball game. But for the most part, Yusei Kikuchi was really in cruise control, only finishing with 89 pitches through 6 innings, giving up just 1 earned run. And the most impressive thing to me is he only walked 1 guy. Against a tough lineup like this, to go out and pretty much be on cruise control almost for the majority of a game, only walking 1 guy, that's impressive. Yusei Kikuchi, when he trusts his fastball, when he doesn't nibble early on, and I say only early on because early on you have to establish the fastball, you have to establish the inside part of the plate, and then you can start nibbling, quote unquote. You can start throwing more off-speed pitches later in the ballgame.
For Kikuchi, a really good day. The Blue Jays had lost 7 Kikuchi starts in a row, and a lot of that wasn't his fault. A lot of it had to do with the lack of run support. While on the other side, Cade Povich made his major league debut for the Orioles. No hits, just 1 walk through the first 2 2/3 innings, but he walked a pair in the 3rd inning. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. stepped up with 2 outs, runners on 1st and 2nd, and delivered today's play of the game. Take a listen. The 1-0. Swing and a fly ball deep right field. Santander racing back at the wall. See you later. 3-run home run, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and the Blue Jays jump on top. Took a cutter on the outside edge and just flipped it over the short wall in right field. The 7th homer of the season for Vlad and his 2nd of the series.
Well, I talked about it early on in the broadcast. When a guy is making his major league debut, when a guy is pretty green when it comes to how many games he's pitched in, all you need to do is get traffic on the bases, and the game starts to speed up. They start to overthink things, and they start to make mistakes. He threw a ball on the first pitch to Vlad, and then he probably looked in the on-deck circle and thought, I can't throw another ball here because I have Bo in the on-deck circle, and I can't go 2-0 to Vlad because 2-0 is almost certain death to a guy that is as good as him and as hot as he is right now. So he comes back with something over the middle of the plate. And kudos to Vlad, actually. He made a good swing. That ball was outer third, and he kind of just flicked it, just like you said, for a 3-run homer.
2nd homer of the series for Guerrero, who already has more homers in June than he did in May. He'd reached 3 times today, and the Blue Jays today did not rest on that 3-run inning. They ended up adding on the final line for Povich in his debut: 5 1/3, 4 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. But Chris, the Blue Jays would add 1 on in the 4th and 2 on in the 6th. They absolutely needed all of that as they ended up winning 6-5.
Yeah, when you look at the box score of Povich, I feel like he pitched better than that. 6 earned runs and 5 1/3. He did walk 4, but I said this a few times today as well. I think that against an offense like this, you have to take advantage of every run that they give you, and the Blue Jays did that later in the ball game, and they needed every single one of those 6 runs.
The Blue Jays win 6-5 to improve to 30-32. Baltimore at 39-22. Toronto with 6 runs on 7 hits, no errors, left 6 on. Baltimore with 5 runs on 6 hits, no errors, left 3 on. Yusei Kikuchi picks up the win. He's 3-5. For Cade Povich, the loss. He's 0-1. Jimmy Garcia gave up 2 in the 9th, but picked up his 4th save of the season. It was a game that took 2 hours and 26 minutes on a sunny 23-degree day with over 39,000 in the stands at Rogers Center. A fun way to wrap up a fun homestand. Now the Blue Jays head on the road for 6 in Oakland and Milwaukee. Starting tomorrow at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Luis Medina pitches for the Athletics against longtime Oakland A Chris Bassett. We hope you can join us then and appreciate you tuning in today. For our technical directors, Lance Kennedy, Derek Brandeo, and Tom Young, our host and producer, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your day and get your calls in to the back leg line because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
All right, so Kevin Barker, we have back-to-back wins for my Blue Jays over the Baltimore Orioles. 6-5 today. Yesterday, of course, the last night, I should say.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is Bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play! Oh, my!
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone, but no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow.
Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app.
10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals taking the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 865. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox taking the Boston Red Sox. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 845. Red Sox on Internet 843. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 862. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays taking the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
With the news that Major League Baseball is incorporating Negro League stats, the great-grandson of Josh Gibson, Sean Gibson, who's also the executive director of the Josh Gibson Foundation, stopped by SiriusXM MLB Network Radio to reflect on the significance of this move.
This was a great day, not just for Josh Gibson, but, for all the Negro Leagues players and family members. It was a long time coming. As you know, Major League Baseball made this announcement almost 4 years ago. And, family members and players kept asking, what's going on? When is this going to happen? And finally, it got leaked out on Tuesday with Nightingale's article. A lot of calls, as you mentioned, was coming to the Gibson family because of now, when you look at the leaderboard and single-season records as well as career records, Josh is on the top of most of those leaderboards, so it's been a great day for Josh Gibson. I love the stats because the one thing, before the stats came out, everybody was talking about Josh Gibson's home runs. And as you notice, he's not listed in any of the stats for his home runs. And that's the good thing about this, is that it shows that Josh Gibson was not just hitting for power when he was hitting home runs, but he's also an all-around great baseball player. 466 in 1943. I mean, that record may never be broken. He just top-tied Cobb on the career leaderboard of batting average at 372. I mean, some of these numbers here are just like, will reconsider and really think about renaming the MVP award after Josh.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays taking the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842. 1:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians face the Kansas City Royals. Guardians on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 847. Royals on Internet 851. 3:30 p.m. Oakland A's take on the Seattle Mariners. A's on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 859. Mariners on internet 864. 6:40 p.m., Pittsburgh Pirates face the LA Dodgers. Pirates on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 861. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Sirius 106 XM 179 and Internet 870. 6:45 p.m., Washington Nationals face the Atlanta Braves. Nationals on Sirius 119 XM 180 and Internet 869. Braves on Internet 841. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Yankees on Sirius XM channels 89 Internet 858. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 137 XM 181 and Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 865. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Boston Red Sox. White Sox on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 845. Red Sox on Internet 843. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 862. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842. 1:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians face the Kansas City Royals. Guardians on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 847. Royals on Internet 851. 3:30 p.m. Oakland A's take on the Seattle Mariners. A's on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 859. Mariners on Internet 864. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates face the LA Dodgers. Pirates on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 861. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Sirius 106 XM 179 and Internet 870. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Atlanta Braves. Nationals on Sirius 119 XM 180 and Internet 869. Braves on Internet 841. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Yankees on Sirius XM channels 89 Internet 858. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 137 XM 181 and Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 865. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Boston Red Sox. White Sox on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 845. Red Sox on Internet 843. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 862. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208 XM 175 and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
Host Xavier Scruggs was on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio to react to the news that Major League Baseball is making Negro League stats official.
This is an amazing step for us just as a game to be able to understand, okay, we had an issue with our game. And I think recognizing that issue and knowing that there was segregation and knowing that that played a huge part in Major League Baseball, but now rectifying that means more than anything to me. And it gives me so much more appreciation for this game. Now, obviously, Josh Gibson is one of the biggest names in baseball going back to the Negro Leagues, but just as a baseball player in general and as a person, we get so many of those stories of how great he was. It means more than inclusion to me. It means more than just recognizing another race. It means that we can all celebrate something special together, and guys will never be forgotten. That's the one thing that sticks out to me is without an opportunity for some of these statistics to be brought to the table, then a lot of times we're not talking about certain guys. So I like the idea that now that includes so many other people. And when we already have a Hall of Fame that's already giving some credit and giving some of these stories, I think it just means that much more to have them all included together. So I love this for everybody. I love this for Russell Dorsey. Broke this news yesterday too. So I want to give credit to him, and he had put together an amazing story about how this had all come together. So really special day for Negro Leagues, the Hall of Fame, and everybody included in the game of baseball.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays taking the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842. 1:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians face the Kansas City Royals. Guardians on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 847. Royals on Internet 851. 3:30 p.m. Oakland A's take on the Seattle Mariners. A's on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 859. Mariners on Internet 864. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates face the LA Dodgers. Pirates on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 861. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 870. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Atlanta Braves. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 869. Braves on Internet 841. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Yankees on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 858. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals taking the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 865. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Boston Red Sox. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 845. Red Sox on Internet 843. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 862. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842. 1:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians face the Kansas City Royals. Guardians on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 847. Royals on Internet 851. 3:30 p.m. Oakland A's take on the Seattle Mariners. A's on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 859. Mariners on Internet 864. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates face the LA Dodgers. Pirates on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 861. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish feed on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 870. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Atlanta Braves. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 869. Braves on Internet 841. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Yankees on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 858. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 865. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Boston Red Sox. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 845. Red Sox on Internet 843. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 862. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
President of Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Bob Kendrick was on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio to talk about Major League Baseball making Negro League stats official.
Number one, those Negro League players who did indeed transition into the major leagues, who will see their numbers change as a result. Monty Irvin will have a dramatic change because of the time that he spent in the Negro Leagues, and his hit totals and those things will now be added to his total. Satchel Paige, I think, picked up 125 additional wins to his major league career. And I can tell you now, wherever Satchel is, he ain't happy about that because he's saying, hey, y'all didn't get him on. Yeah, y'all by no way did you get him on. But the other side of this, a name like a Chino Smith, Charles Chino Smith, who Satchel Paige said was one of the greatest hitters he ever faced, white or black. Now, if Satchel Paige thinks that you are one of the greatest hitters, guess what? Chances are you're one of the greatest hitters. And that's a name that people won't know. They won't know the name Oscar Charleston, even though Buck O'Neil believed Oscar Charleston to be the greatest baseball player he ever saw. He thought Oscar Charleston was Willie Mays before we ever knew who Willie Mays was. In 1921, Oscar Charleston had one of the greatest seasons in baseball history. He led the Negro Leagues in home runs, triples, doubles, stolen bases, and batting average in the same season. You know, and he's Hall of Famer, but most fans still have not heard that name.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 6th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 1:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 868. Orioles on Internet 842. 1:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians face the Kansas City Royals. Guardians on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 847. Royals on Internet 851. 3:30 p.m. Oakland A's take on the Seattle Mariners. A's on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 859. Mariners on Internet 864. 6:40 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates face the LA Dodgers. Pirates on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 861. Dodgers on Internet 853. Spanish Feed on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 870. 6:45 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Atlanta Braves. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 869. Braves on Internet 841. 7:05 p.m. New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Yankees on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 858. Twins on Internet 856. 7:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 137, XM 181, and Internet 846. Cubs on Internet 844. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Colorado Rockies. Cardinals on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 865. Rockies on Internet 848. 8:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Boston Red Sox. White Sox on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 845. Red Sox on Internet 843. 9:40 p.m. San Diego Padres take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 862. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB